Welcome back to JR Pro Shop Vids. Jungo here in the shop. Barco just drilled a U-motion and he's got his old purple hammer here. Today we're gonna figure out what the difference is between the two. So the U-motion here, the core is a little bit stronger than the core in the purple hammer. So we're expecting the U-motion to hook a little bit earlier and maybe a little bit more. Also, the other difference is that the purple hammer has a pearl cover stock and the U-motion is just a solid cover stock. So I think the U-motion will be a little bit smoother as well. Earlier, smoother, and maybe hook a little bit more. Even though the purple hammer is discontinued, they're not making it anymore, we figured this would be a good comparison video because this has been the most popular urethane ball for the last little while for sure. So even though this is like the sequel to the True Motion, it's a totally different bowling ball. It's got a different core and a different cover stock. So we're expecting something totally different from the True Motion. So we're gonna bowl on two different patterns today. We're gonna do a 36-foot Pegasus and a 40-foot Bourbon Street. We're gonna see how they react on both. We know lots of two-handers and lefties like to use urethane on multiple patterns now, multiple lengths. So we're gonna see how it works. All right, this should be an interesting test out on the lanes to see how these two balls react against one another. Let's go watch Barks bowl. Need coffee, stay awake here. Alright, we just watched Barker throw a million shots here on... What was the pattern? Alright, Barker just bowled on 36 feet Pegasus. Which one of these two would you use and why?
From what I saw out there, I would throw the purple urethane. I felt it gave me a little bit more room for error, and I could actually get a little bit further right and have the ball recover. A lot of times with this one, I would have to play really, really straight, and I had no room either direction.
So you would like the purple hammer more because it hooks a little bit more?
Yeah, I found the purple urethane flares a lot more, and you can see it finish a lot harder down lane when it gets off the end of the pattern. Whereas the U-motion was a little bit flatter because it rolls so early. I find that the difference in cover stocks, the U-motion being a solid urethane and the purple hammer being a pearl urethane, it definitely shapes very, very differently down lane.
So Barker also threw some shots on a 40-foot Bourbon Street because we know lots of two-handers and lefties, they like to use urethane on medium patterns also. So what did you see out there on the Bourbon Street?
So on Bourbon Street, I tried to play as far left as I did on Pegasus. The way the pattern is designed, there's a lot more friction in that part of the lane. So to play that straight, the ball picked up too early, and a lot of times it went through the face. So I had to make a jump right. And when I did that, the purple urethane recovered really well, and I had a lot more room. And I really had to back the speed out to get the U motion to look as good. A lot of times I came up light in the pocket or missed the head pin to the left completely.
So what type of bowler would you recommend the U motion for?
I think you need a lot of rev rate to make that ball look really good. I'm sort of a medium rev guy, and I can't get the ball to
Medium
recover.
revs?
Yeah,
Alright.
we can't all be you. Yeah, for me to kind of replicate the same sort of shape I got out of the purple urethane, I had to take the speed down a lot to get the ball to recover enough. Obviously having more rev rate would get the ball to start up sooner and finish a little bit harder as well, and get the ball to flare a bit more. I had a lot of trouble getting this one to really dig into the lane and go.
Barks, what is the actual difference in reaction between these two?
I see the purple hammer being a lot cleaner through the front part of the lane and gives a lot more recovery down lane versus the U motion. The U motion sees the friction a lot earlier and is a little, sometimes too tame down lane, and doesn't give me a lot of room for error. This has been a staple in the hammer lineup for a long time, and there's a reason for that. I think Brunswick went to try and replicate that same success, and it didn't quite pan out the way I would have hoped it would have.
So I was right. The U motion's earlier.
Definitely earlier.
So the U motion would be for bowlers who are rev dominant, and for bowlers who probably already have a purple hammer and would like a little different shape of urethane on different short patterns.
Yeah, for sure. And when we say rev dominant, we can also be talking about people who have a little lower ball speed as well. Not necessarily high rev, but an imbalance where the rev rate is much higher than the speed.
So since we can't get the purple hammer anymore, well, at least not for a while,
Yep.
the U motion is going to hook a little bit earlier and a little bit less. So do you think we could polish this to give it the same similar reaction as that? Or try and like maybe 4,000?
I think smoothing out the surface would help. It would help the ball get down the lane a little bit easier. We actually hit both of these with a 1,000 pad before we started to make sure they had the same surface.
So most tournament bowlers and people who bowl competitively on short patterns probably already have a purple hammer. Would you suggest drilling a U motion as well to complement the purple hammer?
I would say yes. A lot of times with the short patterns, especially when you're on the fresh, the back ends can be really clean and the ball goes really sideways. So this might not be controllable on the fresh, but after a couple games, once you've pushed oil down, this would look better. But on the fresh, this would be a more controllable shape.
So in conclusion, both these balls have the same surface prep. How many more boards of hook do you get out of the purple hammer than the U motion?
I'd say about 3 to 4.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, surprising. Yeah, surprising.
So the U motion hooks 3 to 4 boards less, but a little bit earlier.
Yeah, definitely
the
sees the
purple hammer.
friction much sooner.
Thanks for watching JR Pro Shot vids. Actually, I think you need pitch black. Forget these. Forget these two.
Nah, had one before. This is my baby.
Like, subscribe, comment down below.
Stay tuned for our next video.
Yeah, there you go. Jake, cut that up so it's nice. Was it Nate going duck hunting?